Welcome back to Franchise Player, and you guys really seem to like the most recent video I uploaded talking about Switch games that I think will be rare and expensive down the road. So we're back with another one today. I have another 6 Nintendo Switch games that I think will be rare and expensive down the road. So without further ado, let's get right into these awesome games. First up, we have a game that actually released about a year back, and it released back in September of 2024. And that would be the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. And I was really excited for this collection coming out because it has a ton of great games on it that are also kind of pricey, right? Like it has Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which, as a lot of you know, is at least like a $60, $70 game on the Dreamcast and the PS2. You have the original Marvel vs. Capcom on it. You even have the Punisher game, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. This game is a great value in my opinion, and it was really cool that Capcom was able to release this again. So this is also on PS4 as well, so if you don't want it on Switch or if you want it on your PS4, you can get it there. Currently, this game complete in box is going for $23.05. Brand new, you can still get this game for 25 bucks. So if you want this game sealed, I've seen it online on Amazon and a bunch of other retailers for $25. I think that's a steal for all the games that come on here. As you can see there on the back, it'll show pretty much all the titles. I actually still haven't opened my copy. I really just haven't got around to playing it. I haven't had the time, but it comes with a comic inside too, which I think is really cool. So if you're looking to get this game, I would scoop it up new for 25 bucks. I could 100% see this going up in price down the road, just with how expensive a lot of these other games get, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the original Marvel vs. Capcom. I mean, if you want physical copies of those alone, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So this is a great way to get into that collection and play those games. With that, this got an 86 on Metacritic, so scored super well, which makes a ton of sense with how many legendary games are on this collection. So yeah, I definitely see this going up down the road, so scoop it up cheap while you still can. Next up here, we have the first shoot 'em up on the list, and that would be the Raystorm X Ray Crisis HD Collection. I don't know what it is, but I pretty much never see this game out in the wild. I'd actually picked up my copy at a GameStop probably around a year ago roughly, and was really surprised to see this in store. And what's pretty cool about this as well, if you're a physical game collector, you definitely miss the days of having the manuals and the instruction booklets in the game. So kind of cool that this came with one on Switch. I feel like that's pretty uncommon on Switch. This game right now is going for $22.28 complete in box per price charting. If you can get it for that price, I think it's totally worth it. I think I ended up getting mine for like $39 used at GameStop, and I'd used a gift card or some store credit, I believe, to knock down the price. Two great games, two legendary shoot 'em ups. I don't know if I would pay more than $30 for this right now, to be honest. With this being a shoot 'em up, with this being a lesser common Switch game right now, I can only imagine down the road this will get pricey. And with this being out for a couple of years now, it came out back in June of 2023. I don't think this game is still in print, so if you want a physical copy, definitely worth picking up, especially if you like shoot 'em ups. So if you could pick it up for under 30 bucks, I think it's worth it. Anything more than 30, I'd probably pass unless you're like a die-hard fan of the series. The next game we're taking a look at here came out on the Switch back in 2021, so it's been out for around 4 years now, going on 5, and that would be Cotton Reboot. So if you've never heard of the Cotton series, Cotton was super popular in Japan, and it's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I think a lot of people would probably put this into that cute 'em up category, amongst shmups, and it's a pretty solid franchise. I mean, what else can you say about Cotton? Wasn't really that popular here in the States, but what I think is really cool about Cotton Reboot here is you can play the original game on here, and you can play basically the remastered version of it as well. So if you want that original experience on Switch, in handheld especially, this is pretty sick, awesome to have. Or if you want to play the newer version, which is going to look maybe a little nicer, a little prettier, you definitely have that option too. So right now, Cotton Reboot is going CIB per price charting for $18.26. I was surprised that it's still that cheap. Getting this game for under 20 bucks, I think is definitely a great deal. The Cotton games can be super pricey. A lot of the original Cotton games that are on the Sega Saturn, mind you, the Saturn is a whole nother ball of wax and is expensive. But if these games even do anything similar to the previous releases in the series, this is almost guaranteed to go up in my opinion. And I was shocked that this is going for, under 20 bucks. This is a game that I don't really see out in the wild too often. So if you're into shoot 'em ups, once again, I definitely think this is probably worth adding to your collection. So number 4 here on the list actually kind of goes hand in hand with the previous game, and that would be Cotton Fantasy. So Cotton Fantasy, also in the Cotton series, and once again, just not something you see every day, right? Like if you walk into a retro store that might be in your area, if you're looking online, if you pop into a GameStop, probably a fairly slim chance that you'll find this game in the wild. I had actually picked this up alongside Cotton Reboot. I was lucky enough to get this basically in like a dual pack that GameStop was selling at the time, which I thought was a pretty sweet deal. This came out back in May of 22, so even this is a few years old now. And once again, I never really see it in stores. Right now, complete in box, this game is going for $23.93. So a little more expensive than Cotton Reboot. I think this one is actually a little less common than Cotton Reboot. So if you want to pick up Cotton Fantasy, add it to your shoot 'em up collection, add it to your Switch collection. I think that might be a good idea. This did get a 78 on Metacritic, so probably not going to blow your mind. I actually haven't played this one yet, so but hey, 78, definitely worth checking out in my opinion, especially if you like the shoot 'em up genre. Next up here on the list, we have a game that I feel like I've talked about a decent amount here on the channel, and that game would be Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. So Pocky and Rocky Reshrined is a remake of an old school game that was originally from like the Super Nintendo era. So I believe in Japan this is called Kiki and Kai Kai, but this is a really fun game. I mean, I'll have some gameplay right here so you guys can see it. Super fun, super fast paced, great art style. The game is actually, I mean, if you just look at the cover, you probably think this is like a kid's game and fairly easy. I thought this game was actually pretty difficult. I actually had to replay levels like a handful of times to pass them. Once you learn, enemy movements and patterns, it's not that bad, but I did not expect the game to be as difficult as it was. But really cool art style, good soundtrack, good sound design. This came out back in June of 2022, so also a few years old now, and if you don't want this on Switch, it is available on PS4, but I think the Switch version definitely will go up. Maybe the PS4 one, who knows, but Nintendo games tend to hold value. Right now, this is going for $19.79 complete in box. I think that's a great deal for how fun this game is. Metacritic rating, it got an 81 on Metacritic, so definitely a solid title, a fun one to have in your collection. If you know anything about the Pocky and Rocky series, you know these games are fun, but they're very expensive. Like Pocky and Rocky with Becky on the Game Boy Advance is a game that loose, I think, goes for like close to 150 bucks. Complete in box, it's probably, well, I think it's like 800 plus, maybe even 1,000 bucks at this point, which is insane. And then the Super Nintendo Pocky and Rocky games are also pretty pricey. So if you want to get a Pocky and Rocky game for under 20 bucks, I think this right now is a pretty good deal, and I definitely see this going up down the line if it does anything remotely similar to the other Pocky and Rocky games. And last but not least here, we have another collection of games, and this might be my favorite game on the list just due to the sheer amount of value that you get on this game on one cartridge, and that's the Psikyo Shooting Library Volume 2. So this came out back in August of 2019, so definitely getting up there, at least in terms of Switch games and age. But this is a fantastic collection, and the main reason I wanted to pick this up is it has some great titles on here. You have Gunbird 1 and 2. That was the main reason I picked it up. The Gunbird games, if you know anything about those, specifically on Dreamcast, are very pricey, and I wanted to have it in a physical version. I don't have a Dreamcast, so I thought picking this up would kind of be the next best option instead of maybe emulating. I picked this up last time I went to Japan at a Bic Camera. It's like a big electronics store that also sells video games, and I had to pick this up. This was something I've been wanting for a while. I love this collection. So many hours of entertainment here. And right now on price charting, complete in box, this is actually the most expensive game on the list, and it's coming in on price charting at just under 30 bucks at $29.99. I think that is 100% worth it. Doesn't matter if you get this in Japanese. It's a shoot 'em up. You really don't need to have English support on a shoot 'em up, in my opinion. So I know this list was pretty shoot 'em up heavy, but I think this one is totally worth having. I couldn't find a Metacritic rating or review on this, but take my word, this is a fun one. I think some people online have complained about like input delay and lag when you're playing. I haven't noticed anything, but then again, I'm not going for world records over here on Gunbird 1 or 2. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it for this list of Nintendo Switch games that I think will be rare and expensive down the road. This list was a little heavy on the shoot 'em ups, but I think all of these games will definitely go up down the road on Switch. And as usual, let me know if you guys have any of these games. Let me know what you thought of these games. And if you have any other recommendations for Switch games that you think might go up in value, or games that are just fun to play regardless of value, if they're cheap or expensive, recommend them. I'm always down to check out new games. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you soon with another video.